After many of you guys personally asked me to do the most medium mini-boss from every Mega Man game, I could no longer resist. So here we go, Jamers, the most medium mini-boss from every Mega Man game, 1 through 11. This is what you wanted, right? I sure hope so. Mega Man 1, the first Mega Man game ever made, has a large variety of mini-bosses, and by large variety, I mean the same one every single time. Now, we aren't judging by looks here, so we don't have a 6-way tie like in the ugliest mini-boss video. We know it can't be Electman's One Eye because that one is the worst and I hate it, and so do you. We also know it can't be Iceman's One Eye because that one is the best, as well as being the coolest mini-boss from this game. Cool as in cold, of course. You might think I'd pick one of the Wily One Big Eyes, but the fact that they're all gambling related makes me like them a good bit since I'm a chronic gambling addict after watching Kaji, meaning none of those can be the most medium. This means it's down to either Gutsman's Big Fat One Eye or Cutman's Big Fat One Eye. Both of these One Eyes are fairly medium, which means choosing the most medium will actually be a bit difficult. They're almost exactly the same except for one thing. Cutman is usually the first boss people play, meaning that One Eye is usually the first One Eye you have to deal with. And the first time you deal with these One Eyes, they can be very intimidating. By the time you get to Gutsman though, you've already had to deal with One Eye before, so most likely that makes it a little bit more medium, right? Which means Gutsman's One Eye is the most medium. Cutman's One Eye is still pretty medium, don't get it twisted, but like Gutsman's One Eye is almost forgettable, so congratulations Gutsman's One Eye, I guess. You are the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 1. Mega Man 2, the second Mega Man game ever made, may not have a lot of mini-bosses to go over, but it's certainly not second to Mega Man 1. I mean, it has way more variety. That game literally only has one mini-boss. This game, however, has 3 puppy dogs and 2 big ugly fish. Now, there's no way either one of those big ugly fish could possibly be the most medium because they both leave a big impression on the player, both in terms of appearance and gameplay. Also, I like them a lot, so I won't call them medium. But also, the last blue dog cannot be the most medium because it's the worst, and I think the first blue dog is the best, so that only leaves the second blue dog, which is obviously the most medium of the blue dogs. And hey, would you look at that, it's also the most medium of the mini bosses from Mega Man 2. I mean, who else did you really expect? This dog is in between 2 of the greats, the best and the worst. What other word could you possibly use to describe this thing other than medium? I guess you could call it average, but that's just a synonym at that point. But either way, the second blue puppy dog is the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 2. Mega Man 3, more like Mega Man P. Haha. It's been a while since I flat out said that, so I had to do it to him. This game has some of the best and most iconic mini-bosses in the entire series, so choosing the most medium is going to be both painful and difficult. First of all, we know it can't be the giant flying Met because it's giant flying and a Met. I mean, what else do you need? Garfield has also officially been declared as the ugliest mini-boss from this game just because it doesn't look exactly like Garfield, so it gives some Uncanny Valley vibes, but if it did look exactly like Garfield, it would be the most beautiful. But it doesn't, so that's why it is the ugliest mini-boss, and that is also why it's not the most medium. The penguin boss is super cute, and I like this guy a lot, but it is undeniably worse than every other mini-boss in this game, which is why it won the award for the worst mini-boss. Crazy how that works. This only leaves the snake mini-boss, which just sucks, because I like this guy a lot. He was almost the best mini-boss, but the giant flying Met just barely beat him. If this guy showed up more than he did in the game, then I might have chosen him as something other than the most medium, but he unfortunately does not. I love this guy though, and being the most medium mini-boss in a game like Mega Man 3 is really not a bad thing at all. I mean, look at this guy, we all love this mini-boss fight, it's a super cool giant snake. I also found out recently that you don't even have to glitch to get past this guy using that one glitch I've been showing off, you can just use Rush Jet, and I mean, I guess I should have figured that out since it is Mega Man 3 and Rush Jet is the answer to everything, so yeah, despite all of that, this giant snake mini-boss is still the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 3. Mega Man 4, the fan favorite game of my subscribers, has 4 mini-bosses for us to take a look at, but to me the most medium is obvious. So if you think the most medium mini-boss is obvious too, leave a comment down below. Starting off with the bosses that aren't the most medium though, first of all we have Moby Dick the Whale. Not only is this just a fun boss in general to battle, but also this guy inspired one of the most famous historical books of all time, Moby Dick of course. Again, I don't know how to read, so I have no idea how good of a book it is, but if this guy is in it, then it must be good. Also, he did already win the best mini-boss award, so calling him the most medium would just be flat out disrespectful. Escargot from Kirby Right Back At Ya is a friend of mine, and I could not make myself call him the most medium if he held a gun to my head. Plus, he's not the most medium. The only problem this guy has is the environment he resides in, but that's not his fault. Have you seen the economy recently? I might have to move down to the sewers myself soon. Whopper not only shares zero resemblance with a real Whopper, but he's also annoying, which is why he is the worst mini-boss from this game, and not the most medium. This of course leaves our friend the Hippopotamus as the only candidate for the most medium mini-boss, and I think that's a pretty good title for this guy. Because while I like hippos and this boss, and even his little podium, he is pretty medium. I think we can all agree. I mean, he doesn't fit his stage, he's not too hard, he's not too easy, he's certainly not the best or most impactful mini-boss from this game. What else is there even to say? The Hippo is obviously the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 4. Mega Man 5 only has 3 mini-bosses for us to go over, so this should be quick. Mr. Octopus is awesome, and I love this guy a lot. He's great at parties, which is why he always gets an invite to my party, so there's no way I'm going to call him medium. Though if I did call him medium, he would still be invited to my parties, my totally real parties that I definitely have all the time. But he's not the most medium, so it doesn't matter. The stupid, annoying, dumb, horrible pink guy is the worst mini-boss from this game, so he cannot be the most medium. I hate that guy. Meaning this ugly, lanky idiot is the most medium. I mean, it makes sense. He's bad, but not bad enough to be the worst. He has an okay design, but he's also ugly at the same time. He's not even an official mini-boss according to the Mega Man wiki, but I'm not going to get into that whole can of worms in this video. We've talked about that enough. We all agree this guy is probably the most medium though, right? Well, even if you don't, I am officially declaring him the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 5. Mega Man 6 also only has 3 mini-bosses, but this game doesn't let you jump out of a slide. I don't think that's necessarily relevant to the mini-boss conversation, but I just felt the need to bring that up. We all know our pal, the Samurai Riding a Frog, is an amazing mini-boss and the best from this game, so if anyone tries to call him medium, I'm gonna come to your house and pour water on all of your socks so that no matter what pair you put on, you're gonna be walking around in wet socks, and nobody wants that. And if you do, you're a freak. The Metal Gumball Machine was called the worst mini-boss due to its robot rights violations and the mistreatments of the Mets inside the machine, but if we can look past all of that abuse, I obviously love this mini-boss, and I know you guys do too. I mean, it's literally the best Met from Mega Man 6 already, so this can't be the most medium anything. This of course means the Gorilla Boss is the most medium, and surely no one will disagree with this, right? Who am I kidding? This is YouTube, someone will always disagree. Either way, he's definitely the most medium. I do like monkeys, so it's not like this mini-boss is bad, because it certainly is not, but it also is apparently the exact same as the Wily Boss tank thing, which I hate, but I've made way too many videos on castle bosses to go through that whole tangent again, so just watch those if you want to hear about it. Anyway, I like this mini-boss. I think he's cool, and I like the cinematic black background a lot, but it's still gonna have to be the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 6. With the medium NES mini-bosses taken care of, it's time to look at the medium mini-bosses from the more medium half of the Mega Man series. I'm not sure what else to say here. This is just going to be a more medium video, but remember, you guys asked for this. Multiple of you. Lots of you guys asked for this. I don't want to hear any complaining in the comment section, or else I'll get really angry. Mega Man 7 has a ton of mini-bosses, so let's make this quick, man. Haha, get it? I said quick, man. Okay, no time for jokes, let's go. First of all, the Polar Bears won the Best Mini-Boss Award simply because they are my favorites. I know some people had gripes with this, but they're just my favorites, so I don't care what anybody says. The Ugly Horrible CC Truck won both the Worst Mini-Boss Award and the Ugliest Mini-Boss Award because it's so ugly. That's right, it's so ugly that it's also the worst. I hate this mini-boss and I think it's stupid, so it is far from medium. The intro stage boss belongs in a punk metal band of some sort, but I think he's a pretty cool mini-boss overall, especially for an intro stage, so he can't be the most medium. Trucker Joe is in the same stage as the CC truck, so obviously he is the superior truck mini-boss in this game. Plus, it's literally a Sniper Joe riding a truck. That's awesome, he can't be the most medium. The Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown turns out to have been chilling in Shade Man stage instead of making an appearance in the Peanuts comics, which I say is a good thing because first of all, I'm allergic to peanuts. But also, he is a great mini-boss and one of the best since he can unlock a secret passage in Shade Man stage. Also, it is about to be Halloween, so there's no way this is the most medium boss. And if you're watching this video during a time that is not close to Halloween, this boss is still cool. The giant T-Rex mini-boss is getting into more medium territory, but I think judging purely off size alone, we can't call this thing the most medium off of a technicality. I mean, it's pretty big compared to the other mini-bosses. It's probably the biggest mini-boss, so that's not medium. Ironically though, it's probably also the smallest T-Rex, but that's neither here nor there. This only leaves the Bubble Crab mini-boss from Burst Man stage, and yeah, this is definitely the most medium mini-boss, right? I mean, it's certainly cool, I have no problems with it, but that's gonna be the case for the most medium mini-bosses since they're the most medium and not the worst. You get the idea. Either way, the Bubble Crab mini-boss is the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 7. Mega Man 8 has a bunch of pretty bad mini-bosses, unlike the game, which is a great entry into the series. First of all, the Trash mini-boss is ironically the best. I like this guy, what can I say? It's a fun fight, and it has a pretty cool design, and a pretty cool eye to go with it. The CC roll, on the other hand, is obviously the ugliest. I hate this guy and how he looks. He's like an uglier Freddy Fazbear in ball form, and that's not something I wanted to see or interact with or know exists, but Mega Man 8 had other plans for us, so thanks for that, Mega Man 8. The Fish mini-boss from Aquaman stage might be a good candidate for the most medium, but I like him too much. I think he's closer to being the best than the most medium if you ask me, since it's actually a pretty fun boss fight, and you are asking me, so yeah. The Auto-Scroller mini-boss stinks. It's an auto-scroller, so it didn't really stand a chance, but it is obviously the worst. I could see some people calling this the most medium, but it won't be me. This leaves the Weird Gear boss from Swordman stage. Yep, this seems like a pretty medium mini-boss to me. You were the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 8. Oh yeah, you already know what time it is. It's Rockman and Forte time. We already know the Caterpillar Mother is the best mini-boss from this game, so she cannot be the most medium. We know the stupid weird mini-boss from Dynamo Man stage is the worst, so that can't be the most medium. And we know the CC roll is the ugliest, so it also can't be the most medium. But the CC roll was actually banned from being the worst for cheating, so really that one is the worst and the ugliest, but either way, it is not the most medium. Now, you might think Snowler the Snowman is the most medium, but just like the Fish from Aquaman stage, I think this guy is too close to being the best to be called medium in any capacity. I like how this guy looks, I like fighting this guy, and I even like hanging out with him. He's just a cool dude. Cool as in cold, of course. Meaning the most medium mini-boss is the Simon Says Machine from Astro Man stage. You might assume that this would be closer to the bottom of the list, but the fact that you can skip it with the ice wall makes me very happy, and I appreciate this boss a lot more than I probably should. So while this mini-boss isn't super fun, it is pretty medium. You hear that, Mr. Says? You're the most medium mini-boss from Rockman and Forte. Mega Man 9 brings us right back to the 8-bit era, but its mini-bosses have generally been pretty easy to categorize, so hopefully this is no different. The giant, epic, cool, dope Fire Dragon is obviously the best and not medium at all. The Angry Stone mini-boss is the ugliest, but only by default. He's really not that ugly. And the third elephant is the worst because it goes way too far with its obstacles. So you might be thinking, hey, that flower mini-boss must be the most medium. But nope, that mini-boss is far too pretty to be medium. It is literally a flower. You cannot get more pretty than that. That's like the most universally pretty thing ever, second to maybe the stars in the night sky. But anyway, if that's not the most medium, who is? Well, it can't be the first blue elephant. He's cool and introduces you to the elephant trio, meaning it's gonna have to be the second blue elephant. Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks to Mega Man 2, but the second blue elephant is definitely the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 9. Mega Man 10, more like Mega Man 9 2. That's still funny a year later, right guys? Tri-Castle is obviously the best mini-boss. We've discussed this many a times. Get it, mini? The Firebirds cannot be the most medium because they are almost the best and they're beautiful and hot. If it wasn't for Tri-Castle being so OP, these would be the best, but Tri-Castle is OP, so let's move on. Octobulb has taken a real beating in these videos. He's been declared both the worst and the ugliest mini-boss, and while I do actually like this guy, I think that means he cannot be the most medium. That just wouldn't make sense. Meaning the most medium mini-boss has got to be the Keeper, and I'll say the second one just for consistency's sake. I like this mini-boss a lot. I mean, really all the mini-bosses in Mega Man 10 are great, but one of them had to be the most medium. And despite his jaw of steel, the Keeper is gonna have to take that title. So congratulations, Keeper, or more specifically the second Keeper in that stage. You are the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 10. Mega Man 11 is probably going to be the most challenging entry in this video just because most of the mini-bosses feel medium, but maybe I'm just crazy. I never said I wasn't. I guess the best way to go about this is process of elimination. So Tooterp is the most ugly mini-boss, meaning he cannot be the most medium. The Acid Cleaner from Acid Man stage is the worst mini-boss because it cannot do its dang job, meaning it will not be the most medium. And Pickle Man Digger is literally a Pickle Man and obviously the best, so there's nothing medium about this guy. With those obvious picks out of the way, I also gotta say the Frog Balloon is not going to be the most medium. I like this boss a lot and it's very cute. It may not be in the top 10 best frogs in all of gaming, but it's still a pretty decent frog as far as gaming goes, and it is far from a medium mini-boss. Sparky looks like Alfred Chicken, which is his only saving grace, but he's closer to being bad than medium. Calling this guy medium would be a compliment, so I won't do it. The opposite goes for the Undead Mammoth from Tundra Man stage. This guy is literally too cool to be the most medium, so I'm not even gonna go there. Fuse Man's mini-boss is pretty close to being the most medium, but his hair and glasses save him from a fate of mediocrity. You're lucky you have style, Dreadspark, very lucky. This means the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 11 is ironically the Thrill Twins. Half the reason these guys are the most medium is because they hype up their battle with their name being the Thrill Twins, when really a better name for these guys would have been the Average Everyday Twins. Okay, maybe that doesn't roll off the tongue very well, but you get the idea. This boss fight isn't so bad, but they just don't live up to the hype, and because of that, the Thrill Twins are officially the most medium mini-boss from Mega Man 11. Well, those were the most medium mini-bosses from every Mega Man game 1 through 11. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this medium video. We'll see if next week we do a video on the most beautiful mini-bosses, since we haven't done that one yet, and that is a Tooterp special, but maybe I'll do another Mega Man video. It'll just honestly depend on how busy I am that week and what all I have going on, so we'll see. But let me know down in the comments what you want to watch, because if you couldn't tell by this video, I'm one of the few YouTubers who actually reads and listens to my comment section, so you better take advantage of that. Oh, I only listen to commenters who are subscribed, by the way, so if you want me to listen to you, you have to subscribe. That's my one rule.